What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Business and Biceps. And you better wake your ass up, because on today's show, we're going to talk about, are you shortchanging your life, John?
Well,
Not your life.
I personally don't feel like I am, but I think when we explore it, we'll find out if I am. And I think there are some strategies for sure we can give people to kind of turn the tide. Yeah. And I know that's hard for people. And I've been there. I'm sure you've been there.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to try to do.
I'm excited about this topic.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think everybody can identify with that. Yeah. It's brought to you by CommonBond. Of course, you're going to refinance your college debt, because why would you keep in the same loan that you got? Don't let them get you.
No.
Refinance it today at commonbond.co/biceps, and they can save you on average, John.
On average, $24,000 over the life of your loan. And if you're going to go in debt to go to college, that's great. You get an education and all that. But why not save money on the other side? Why pay big interest rates when you don't have to? commonbond.co/biceps.
I love it. Once again, Mo's still on vacation, so
I get on a beach.
Yeah, I get to introduce John. I'm going to try to do a better job than last show. I'm getting practice. I've never done this before.
Yeah, Mo does the coming to the stage. He
I'm a little nervous.
The stadium.
Yes.
I'm going to need a stadium name.
Okay.
Because I need to understand where I'm at.
Okay, I got this. I got this.
Right.
Ready? All right. I'm channeling my inner Maurice.
Okay. Do you hear the John Foster, aka Michael Jordan music?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do. I do. Coming to the stage at the Wrigley Field.
Oh. They do put up stages.
Yeah,
there
right. Yeah, you saw Pearl Jam there.
And AC/DC.
Yeah. Yes.
And Foo Fighters. Okay.
Wrigley Field. 7'2" and 1/4 inch.
That's a fact. Everyone knows it. They've seen me.
327.
Body fat percentage?
6.75.
Okay, now we're talking.
Bring in the fucking heat right now. It's time for Fosco's World.
That crowd is loud here, dude.
I'm like Murphy Lee up in here. I'm the hype man.
Who the fuck is Murphy Lee?
That's a Nelly reference from the early 2000s. John.
Yeah, I never listened to Nelly. He was aggressive with his
Flavor Flav
shirt off. But anyways, so I want to talk about this kind of as we grow older, and grow older could be fucking grow into your 20s, or you're done with college, or you're supposed to be an adult now. What's cool, right? And this thought was spurred from something you put in our group text.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like everybody has this idea of responsibility, and I work, and happy hour's good because that's where people network, and then it's cool to go out to a bar or a club or do this or do that, right? And that's, there's nothing creative or enhancing about going through that process. Sure, one could argue if they're in a corporate system that going to happy hour gives you the ability to network with people above you. Well, I happen to be what I like to call a proud gamer, Cory.
Okay,
a proud gamer. So let me explain this.
I know you got game, John.
No. I'm talking video games.
Oh, here we go. Okay. I thought you was talking with the ladies.
So, well, we're gonna save that for
a different segment.
The After Dark episode.
Okay.
But the reason I'm bringing it up is because when I think about video games in my life, and people can say, "Oh, you're motherfucker," I'm fucking. I don't want to be cocky now, but like, fuck, man, like I'm doing my thing in life. I have freedom. I make fucking money. Don't fucking judge me if I play. I love fucking video games. And while other people are out at the bar wasting their time, wasting their money, wasting their brain power, I think the reason you put it in the text is like, what are you getting out of it, right? Like, what are you getting out of it? And I always talk about the value of going back to when you were a kid and doing those things that bring you joy. Well, that's part of it. That's a small part of it. But now video games are so much different than they used to be.
This ain't Super Mario, bro.
This ain't Super Mario, bro. And when I think about them, I think about them like I do art, because it's an experience that's beautifully crafted and lets you control what you choose to do. Now, if you go see a movie, you're watching something that you have no control over.
Sure.
If you play some of these video games, like I would say the most joy I've had outside of business and the bedroom in the last so many months was playing this game, Red Dead Redemption, this monster fucking game that was so cool, that had so many options, that had so many colors, that had so many environments. And I can't tell you how many business ideas I got from experiencing a world that's not ours. It's a different world.
That's pretty cool,
so
John.
It's I mean, that's what I really want people to understand here is like, oh, bro, you get money, you get a job, you go to the... No, that's what losers do, okay? What I do is I try to always up my game. And people think video games are a problem, and yes, they can be for the younger generation. But my experience with them, I'd love to turn on my PlayStation right now for you gamers out there. Fucking God of War, Far Cry, Assassin's Creed. Don't do much Call of Duty because it's too ADD for me. Red Dead Redemption. I just got The Division 2. These are all games that allow you to escape reality in a healthy way and go to a different world where things function differently. People may be different. Colors are different. The way things work is different. And all that allows your mind to do is expand. Like it allows you to see things in a different light. Sure, it's a video game, but it's an experience and it's enjoyable. And if you take the stigmas off it and you let yourself just be free and be free of judgment, right? Oh, video games for fucking someone in their 30s. Oh, you must be a nerd. Fuck you, bitch. Like, call me a nerd. Like, I'm not a fucking nerd. You know what I'm saying? I love video games because they incite creativity and they take me to a place that this world can't take me to. So as I'm enjoying my process, I'm just thinking what other people think they should be doing when they get to a certain place in their life. And I am not advocating for people to take 2 hours a night and play video games.
Yeah.
I may play video games, to be honest, once every 2 weeks on a Sunday for, if I'm lucky, hour and a half or something like that. But I cherish that time because it's an escape free of drugs or alcohol. It contributes to my creativity. And people who are maybe in our positions, they may think that that makes them look stupid or cheesy or weak, when in reality, you're stupid and cheesy and weak if you think going to the club and being the cool guy is the cool thing.
Yeah. The reason why it sparked in the chat was you said something the other day during conversation when we were working on some business. You said that, your business 1,000,000%, like full go constantly. Yeah. And that's well documented on the podcast. But you said, I just realized that when I'm playing this video game for this period of time, which isn't some crazy amount of time, right, that I truly am just present in that. I'm not thinking about the 4 different businesses we're running and all these things, like that you could really escape and let your brain rest a little bit in a healthy way. That's why I brought it up, because I never really thought of it that way. And you kind of were just kind of unraveling that when we were talking that day. Yeah. So I thought it'd be a good thing to bring up on the podcast.
Yeah. An ex-girlfriend said that to me. She said, the favorite thing, she says, girlfriends hate when boyfriends play video games. My favorite thing I ever witnessed you do was play video games whenever you would do it sparingly. And it's because for 1 fucking hour or 30 minutes, I got to see you not be this guy who's always thinking and dissecting and breaking down. I got to see you look like a kid, man. Yeah. And it was amazing because I could tell the joy you were experiencing, and it's something so simple. You're not drinking, you're not doing drugs. It was like you'd hit power on that thing and you would just go off. I wouldn't even have to talk to you and you were just happy. And I thought about that a lot, and I am just happy. And I think there is a sense of like video game shaming when you get to a certain age.
Makes sense.
And I will tell people this. Video games are a product of the generation before me. The generation before me got Atari. So my kind of synopsis when it comes to video games is they are not age specific. Video games are generation specific. So if 45-year-olds started playing Atari and the first Nintendo, well, when they're 65-year-olds, a large percentage of them are still going to be playing video games because it was introduced. And just so everybody knows, it's 3 times right now bigger of an industry than movies are. So I just want everybody to not be afraid to embrace something as creative as video games because they feel like they should feel like I'm too old for this. You know, when it's so much more productive than going out to the bar, having a drink, and doing what everyone else does, you know?
I think the thing that I think about, because I'm not into video games, but maybe I should try with that kind of mind frame, is like my automatic thought is somebody burning 7 hours on a Saturday, like in a degenerate nature. Because that's all I knew is the guys that I knew that played video games. I was working on my business at 2021. They're fucking playing Bond for 9 hours on a set. I mean, literally,
Bond.
They were playing Bond for 9 hours on a Saturday.
It was a cool game.
And I'm like, it was, but I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I think that's where like it never really matched up for me, right? But when you say, look, this is a release, an hour and a half, it's probably similar to what I kind of feel like in the gym. Like I'm just there doing it. I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm worried about the present, what's happening that second, you know? And a lot of times with my kids, I can do the same thing when I'm throwing the football.
I think that's what it's more like in the gym because I can identify with you, the gym. Sure, we approach it differently. But when you showed me the video last night of you throwing the ball to your son, just doing things in the house, that's what it's like. It's like, okay, so it's not the gym, it's not business, it's this other release where you're not dialed in.
Like I'm just worried about if I can throw the ball to Andon, he dives on the mattress, and that's all I care about, right?
It's
that's
childish, just like people view video games.
Exactly.
Childish. But what is it? It feeds
your
spirit.
It felt amazing. Yeah, it was unreal.
Exactly. So everyone out there, if you're playing games, man, don't feel ashamed. Don't hide it. Like everything else, we were talking about confidence in the previous episode. Own that shit. Like I said, when I meet a girl for the first time, I say, hey, I'm an ex-drug addict and I play video games. You still want to talk?
You still want to talk to me?
What's up? And on that point, let's move on to Cory Gregory time.
I love it. Sean, that's amazing. Do you really say that?
Absolutely, yeah.
That is so good. So good. All right, so
they still want
today
this.
What I wanted to talk about was just how important, when I get up every day, I think about not only can I keep myself in a motivated level and trying to aspire for, certain type of things that I want for my career and my family. But I really, early on in my, let's call it my second career, which supplement career, was in an understanding level of how I was affecting people, whether it was one in the gym or people online. And when I started to see things come through that humble me every day when they come through, I still can't believe it's a thing. But people draw from what they hear on the podcast, what they see within my fitness aspect of my business, social media.
Dunking on 7-foot rims.
9.5 from Germ. And thinking like that it's not just about me, that these things that I'm searching for are for a bigger purpose. And what I realized that was the first person, whether it was in high school all the way through my personal training studio, that I started to realize that I was at some point maybe the most positive person they would run into in their day, that I could make a difference, and that the compounding time that they were around me because of how passionate I was about the things I was doing, how excited I was, how I'm, I believe, a genuinely nice person, could really over time affect them in a positive way. That they had never maybe been around somebody that likes what they do as much as I do, or aspired to do these things. They really may have never experienced it. And so I started to think about, like, and you put this in the group chat, this is where it came from, or you put it in the notes, about how important it is to me to really try to motivate others. And not even try, but to think about, like, if I can pursue this thing that's really hard for me, just like lunging 800 meters every day is hard as that sounds, or basic as that sounds. I knew if it became a thing, which it has, that more people would do their version of that, whether it's run, walk, 400 meters, 800 meters, doesn't matter. But while they're doing it, part of the equation was that they should be listening to something to make their mind better at the same time.
Right.
And when you outline a segmented time to do that every day, it's undeniably going to make you better. And I know that because I experience it. You know that because you experience it. Most of the other public who's never experienced it doesn't understand the amazing effect it can have. So I always think, when I'm pushing myself, is there a way that I can click this over to help one person, 10,000 people, 100? I don't know how many people it is, because in the world we live in, the people that are listening to us on this podcast, the people that are following me on social media, the people that are on the website or MaxF, or what, all these different outlets that I have exposure to, I have a responsibility, I really believe, to, it's not fake, it's just what I'm fucking doing, but to think that as I'm executing it, is there a way that I can fucking make it, you know what I mean? Because then it's like, when I'm fulfilling others, I'm easily going to get what I'm after. That's just a byproduct, bro. Dude, so, but I do think about that literally every day when I wake up, that the day I don't want to go, that when I say, wake your ass up, motherfucker, on, you know, on my Instagram, or they see me at the gym and I timestamp it, every day somebody messaged me and said, dude, I didn't want to do it today, but I saw you're there. I saw Dirty Jeremy's there. I saw these other guys are there. The 4 a.m. crew's getting it. They're like, fuck, I had to do it. It's so, I mean, I think it becomes more of a thought than maybe people think. Like, I am thinking about everyone else, which makes me even more motivated.
Yeah. And listening to you, it's interesting, because the tiebacks to what we talk about a lot, almost as principles of this podcast, or principles that we talk about, the tieback is, what are you really doing? You're sharing your gift with others, and that's ultimately,
and my passion.
Right. Well, right. But your gift is that. And sure, do you have other gifts? Sure you do. But you're sharing your gift with other people, and that's validation of it.
Yeah.
And validation feels good, but it feels better when people are seeing positive impacts from it, and they're feeling it. So it's like, if you're a listener and you heard what Cory just said, think about what people almost look up to you for. Why do people look to you? What is the thing or things that people admire about you, and you know you're good at, you know you're strong at, and you know when you open up on people, their eyes open up and they say, okay, and they start drawing the energy from you. What are those things, right? And those things are our gifts.
Yeah.
And our gifts are meant to be shared, because if you didn't share the things you shared, whether it's 500 people, 1,000 people, 10, however many people it is, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing because they see you doing it.
Yeah.
That's how it's verified in my mind as a gift. And that's the greatest thing we can give outward.
Well, yeah, it's like oxygen for the process, right? Because everyone needs, like, it's hard to do what we do, John. It's hard to do what I'm doing in my physical, like, fitness type of stuff. It's hard to stay that motivated, that consistent. But I know it's like, I have a responsibility to all these people to be some sort of figure for them that they've expressed, that they look up to. And then think about how many people we met at the Arnold that came by and said, man, I listened to Business and Biceps. It helped me do X, X, and X. And then we look at each other like, fuck, like every time. It never gets old. It never gets old when people say, I was able to do this because of something I saw you and John and Mo talk about, or gee, something you did in your exercise pushed me to this level and it made a difference. And I every year I come back from the Arnold because that's the main event where we can talk to people in person. Right. And I tell Rachel, she'll say, how was the Arnold, Cory? Like, what? I said, it just makes me know I'm doing what I should be doing.
Absolutely.
Like, there's no way I can talk to that many people that long in a period of time that are saying the same or in the ballpark things that it doesn't tell me that I'm put on this earth to do these type of things. It just, it gives me more oxygen to be as crazy as most people think I am, or you are. Like, that's why we don't miss the show. That's why we've never missed a show.
No, dude. Never.
In what? It's almost 3 years. We've never missed a fucking show.
Never missed a show, dude.
I mean, that's so. Just so you guys know, we take responsibility as a team, knowing what this is, helped us. Like, selfishly, if we don't do the show, I feel like shit. Like, it's like our own therapy on top of it.
It is our own therapy, but I don't think it's selfish, because we know there's a benefit to others, and we know there's no cost involved here, and we know people draw strength from it. But I just think that, it's you said it's hard to keep up this pace, and I think everyone knows that doing what they need to do on a daily basis is hard. But I think when you get to a place where, like, just hard doesn't matter. Yeah. Like I know getting up.
Yeah, I don't process it that way, does it? You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. No, I'm not saying you did, but I guess for the listener, when you get to a place where you're like, yeah, I'm not going to let it register with me, because it's irrelevant.
Takes no value.
It's got to be done.
Yeah.
It's got to be done.
Yep.
So if I'm going to sit here and talk about how hard it is, what am I doing to my chances that I'm going to complete my tasks effectively and with sound mind and body? I'm decreasing them. Bro, life's hard. I think once we just accept it and stop looking for easy and accept hard, and when easy comes, we don't need to talk about it. Just easy just flows. But people run from hard, and everything will be hard until you die.
No shit. So run straight at that motherfucker, punch it in the mouth.
Knock that bitch out, leave it flat, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for the great thoughts on that, Johnny. All right, it's time for Q&A. Where's Dirty Jeremy, Butt Life,
bouncing
White
into
Zebra.
Fucking Q1 like Sir Mix-a-Lot.
What do we got, Jeremy?
1993, maybe. Maybe Heavy D is
Heavy D of the boys. You got to drop that now.
Maybe KRS-One shows us.
Everyone keep on sending us questions at Biz and Biceps on Instagram and Twitter. If we use your question on the air, we'll send out a free t-shirt for you.
I love that, John.
First question. What is the balance between feeling like you don't owe anybody anything and being a voice for a group that historically may not be at the same level you get to?
Well, you don't owe anybody anything, and that's a fact. So let's learn to accept that as a fact. We owe no one nothing. Repeat it as many times as you have to for it to set into your head. Now, helping out groups that you may have a connection to, that's a choice. And that's a noble choice. That's an honorable choice. I am elated that people on this podcast or listeners would bring that up. That's fantastic. One has nothing to do with the other. You don't owe a group that you feel passionate about something because you feel passionate about them. You owe them nothing. If you feel the need to give, brother, give. And give with everything you got. But repeat it in your head, everybody, as many times as you have to. I owe no one nothing. I owe no one nothing, until you believe it. Because, listen, I'm going to claim it right here, right now as truth. So,
well, the other thing is, I'll go one step further than that, is giving without expectations in return too. I think a lot of people give with thinking they're supposed to get something back.
Gangster mentality.
Yeah, I know that Yeah, hopefully if I need to call on somebody, but they don't owe it to me. They just don't. I chose to give my time or money or whatever the case is, and they don't owe me anything back.
Correct.
Because I'm not owed anything. And the world doesn't owe you anything. A lot of people get tripped up on that big time. The world doesn't owe you shit. It doesn't owe it to you. It'll punch you in the fucking mouth. It'll leave you in the gutter. It's just the way it is. And when you give, you should give with a purpose because that's what you want to do, not because of some back ass, thing on the flip side of it. So next.
Q2 butt life.
I want to know your thoughts on dealing with the negative anxiety that you get when you know you've made a bad decision. I live by the philosophy, if you have a problem, find a solution and fix it, but I struggle with that initial feeling where you know you could have done better.
Okay. So life is a constant process of making mistakes. And it sounds like what you're saying is the solution-based thought you think you live by, you don't live by that. It sounds like you want to live by that because not forgiving yourself or not accepting yourself or not believing in yourself because you made a bad decision. It's a self-defeating, consistent behavior that has no point. The reason it has no point is because we're always going to make bad decisions. And it's not about the bad decision we make. It's about identifying that it's a bad decision and fixing it, and hopefully fixing it well enough so you don't repeat it. But life is going to be full of bad decisions. And just like earlier, you are going to make bad decisions until the day you die. But if you're about what you said you're about, a solution-based mentality, take that in, just put these two together. You made a bad decision. Insert solution-based mentality. How do I fix this decision? I got to call this person. I got to let them know I was wrong. We talk about over-communication here.
Yep.
I got to let them know I was wrong. And then we're going to go this way instead of that way because I was wrong on how I directed that. So if you have that solution-based mentality, it's very easy to get over bad decisions. But that negative anxiety, as you referred to it as, man, that's your ego beating you up, and you're allowing it to beat up. So let that solution-based mentality kick in because, like I always say, that's inevitable. You got to get there anyways. Get there sooner than later.
Yeah, I think when I've dealt with this stuff in the past, the admitting of the bad decision to the team is hard to do. I think people will try to dodge it in every which way.
That's your ego peaking up.
And that's your ego, and that's what that anxiety is going to continue to build, right? It's easier to take it head on and say, look, I fucked this one up. I've done that a bunch of times in the past. Hey, I fucked this one up. Now, hey guys, I need help with the fucking solution, how we can fix it because, hey, I might have made 9 decisions good. This one was a fucking blunder, but as a group, we make them together, we miss them together. We need help as a team. And I think that then that anxiousness goes away because then the group is supporting a guy who most of the time might make the right decisions.
What do they say, man? The truth shall set you free. And if you're man enough or woman enough to put it on the table and put your ego aside and, oh, I'm so scared people are going to jump on me and say, no, they're not.
They respect it.
Everyone.
Right,
Listen,
John? If somebody
dudes,
goes...
Real women, they respect the fucking truth because the truth is hard.
Yeah, because how can you... Like
me in the morning.
How can you knife a guy down after he stands up and says, yo, fuck this one up? Like...
You can't.
I mean, you can't, right?
You're a punk bitch if you do.
If you do. That's what I think, too.
Yeah, I'd like to slap you. So.
All right, Dirty Jeremy, one more.
I'm 19 years
Butt
old.
life, Q3.
I own my own photography company, and I work an almost full-time job. I often get ridiculed and criticized by my family for not spending enough time with them and my relatives. I definitely take time to rest and recharge, but it doesn't always line up with everyone else's schedule. Am I being an asshole, or should I just continue doing what I'm doing?
How old? I wonder how old
19.
this dude is. Oh.
Continue doing what you're doing. You know, if anyone is truly calling you an asshole because you found something in life at a young age that lights you up and you're excited about, and you're here at 19 years old, it's not easy to give your time in big bunches like that to a profession Because at 19, most of us are fuck ups. You know what I'm saying? Our fucking mind is all over the place. It's deep in some apple pie and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think your family is could potentially be your downfall. And I talk about this a lot. I've dealt with it a lot. The ones closest to you sometimes are the ones who can steer you in the worst direction because they have the tightest grip on you.
They're the most emotional pull when they talk.
It hurts, right? Like a dude on the street saying something he can't hurt you, but someone who is supposed to love you or you're supposed to love, they have power. They can hurt you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So just know you're not doing anything wrong. You're going after what you love, and anyone who wants to judge you for it, unless you're leaving out something of this question, you want to just kind of distance yourself. Because listen, I have the benefit of having an amazing mother, and at every turn, nothing was ever about spending time with her. It was like, you go get it. And there was love in that, and there was support in that. And I credit her for a lot of what I do. So
yeah, I had the same kind of thing, John. It was never like, oh my gosh, you're not here enough.
Right.
I think here's what you have to think about. When you have these things happening and you have aspirations at 19, you're trying to put 10 hours a day into your craft to get better. Think about the person that probably undeniably loves you, but what do they know about what you're trying to accomplish? Like a person that has accomplished, even in the ballpark of your aspirations, wouldn't do that to you because they would understand it. So my point is, you have to understand the person that's saying that, what's behind it is not strong enough to probably even understand. Like my mom and your mom sounds like they were very similar in their, they didn't maybe understand what we were going to do, but they just supported it.
Yes.
They weren't a hindrance to it.
It's called unconditional love.
Unconditional love. The thing is that if you got to run through the washing machine, like, well, my dad has never been an entrepreneur. He's had several failed businesses, and the things he's saying to me are really about him.
Correct.
They're really not about me because he can't really identify with where I'm really going. And so your parents are on a pedestal in your brain naturally because they're your parents. It doesn't mean they're the most qualified people to give you fucking any type of advice. It's just the truth.
Your dad isn't Warren Buffett.
No, I would just tell
unfortunately.
I would just tell people, look, what was their result? Or have they even done anything like you're trying to do? If they haven't, you can't listen to them.
No.
I'm sorry. You can be respectful. You can distance yourself. You can make time at family events. But at the end of the day, you cannot take it for 1,000% truth or value because they're not qualified to tell you. Just the fucking truth. Just what it is.
Facts, dog.
Facts. Meek Mill, let's go.
Meek. Meek life.
We have one more. Or is that 3? Oh, time for the main event.
Ring the bell, Jeremy, please. And just do it a little harder this time. I don't know if your triceps are getting soft or what. Harder.
Whoa, tricep soft comment. All right, so it's time for the main event.
Not my tricep.
One of the things that John and I were talking about off air, and I'm going to serve it up, and then John can fucking tennis serve it, I guess. You probably play tennis, don't you?
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Maybe you play Pong.
Get the fuck out of
You
here.
play Pong. That's a video game.
Pong, bro. Pong is when you grew up, dude.
All right, so no one knows what those references are because they're probably way too young. We were talking about, are you right now, as you listen to this podcast, shortchanging your life? Yeah. Are you living up to your true, potential or your perceived potential? Are you doing enough? And what is a way that you can figure it out or try to change that if that's what you're thinking right this second? Man, I am. Are you going to have regret when you die if you keep on the same path as you're listening to me right now in this very second?
Yeah, it's like, what are you doing that you weren't doing 3 months ago, 6 months ago? Like, what are you adding to your repertoire of life? What are you structurally adding to your life experience? Because we all never know when we're going to go. Okay. So if you're doing the same fucking shit you were doing a year ago, if you spend the same amount of time, listen, guys, I'm fucking dead serious here. Looking at your phone like a goddamn fucking robot. When your head's on your phone, you are missing the greatest gift that the universe will ever give you. It's life. Like how much of your fucking time every day is in that goddamn phone? Like you're just missing life. So what else are you doing to add to what you do? Are you trying to learn something new? Are you trying to acquire skills? And if so, how are you doing it? Or are you just doing what pays the goddamn rent? And you wake up and you get to work and you open Instagram and you look at what your friends are doing. You are wasting so much fucking time. You are adding no wisdom to yourself. You're learning nothing.
Actually getting dumber.
You're dumbing down yourself and you're pulling back. That's why, unfortunately, when I look at people in their late teens, early 20s, that's why there's this huge social communication problem, because more time is spent in the e-world, online world, smartphone world than in the real world. How can you tell me that is not going to fuck up your brain chemistry, how you talk to people, how you look at people, how you experience life? Guys, I mean, the greatest fucking thing in life, the greatest thing, man, is experiences and experiencing new people, experiencing different things. But we're all so programmed to go in our little corner, right? Our little fucking corner with the same people or the same person and do the same shit. So when we're talking about shortchanging our lives, look at yourself. What are you doing? I talk about it all the time. I don't have all the answers. All I know is I'm like a traveling fucking vagrant because I'm searching for something that I don't even know what I'm searching for. But I move constantly to experience new people, new places, put myself in a position where I must adapt.
Uncomfort. You like it.
It's almost not even like I like it. It's like I know if I don't do it, I'm shortchanging
There you go.
my life. Because how can I see a different perspective if I'm staring at the same pavement or patch of grass every day?
Yeah, that's true. Well, I always just used to think what is my ultimate potential? Everyone has it inside of them. I found out what I like to do. I found out what motivates me. I found out businesses I like, people I want to work with. And it's what is the true top? There's going to be some limiting factors, maybe potentially with attempting, and I'll say attempting, to have a balance of family and life, which you've been amazing about, John, as we've grown these businesses. There is and I know that that's a thing. There's no doubt. Because when you can just pick up and go and spend hour upon hour upon hour, but I know when I chose this other side of things that comes with maybe some type of cap. Maybe not an ultimate cap, but some type of cap.
Sure.
But I always wondered, and honestly, a lot of the things that we've already accomplished each individually and together are far surpassed what I could even, as a 20-year-old kid could even think about. But I ran into, when I did hit some strides in life that I didn't even think were possible, because I couldn't even have made them up if I tried, it's then I had this period of time where it was man, now I got to figure out what is my new aspiration per se, and what am I going to enjoy long term, and how can I continue to keep myself uncomfortable? And to be frank, just even coming here for 3-day clips is uncomfortable for me. Sure. I don't mind doing it. Actually, we have a blast because we're doing all these things, but traveling to a different spot that now John lives in, throwing himself in there, doing a business in an area that I don't live, I've never done. You know what I mean? The things that I'm trying to calculate, have a calculated risk in, and push myself within this, area I'm trying to keep everything together, is a tricky process. And you have to kind of reevaluate those things as you move on and really try to push yourself in that manner and just don't settle.
No.
I think a lot of people just say, well, this is the cards that I was dealt and this is what it is. And that's not the fucking truth. It's the furthest from the fucking truth.
No, it's what people
what you
tell
make it.
themselves to provide comfort.
Yeah.
To
easy way out.
When they're trying to describe in their own minds why their existence is repetitive and unmeaningful.
But John, everything you do, you just got the gift of, gold. Everything you do just touches gold.
That-
You've heard that. I know you have because I have too.
That will light me up, and that will make for a good Instagram clip. I promise you that.
Because people like to say, I've shortchanged myself. John has a fictitious thing that fairy dusted him one day.
Yeah, right.
And that now he knows how to make all his money.
Right.
And I've had people say that. They don't realize how disrespectful of a thing that is. Because that's saying you have no skill. You don't push yourself out of the comfort zone in that, fucking Mary Poppins flew down and fucking knighted you one day.
Well, yeah, and it's just easier for you.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's just easy.
Oh, it looked so easy when I was in that trailer and I was fucking pissed off and poor. It looked awesome. I would have signed up. Get the fuck out of here.
It's just easier for me. It's like, no, I put so much focus into making myself who I am. So you would say that about me because I am in a position in your eyes that's so strong that you really think I have a gift from God. Like whoever's saying that to me, I didn't have shit. I talked on the earlier episode about how fucked up my mind was and my thought process was and how damaging I was to myself. Like, dude, that was the path to jail.
Yeah.
That wasn't the path to this.
Yeah.
And nobody helped me. I had a mother who loved me, God bless, but nobody helped me. I helped myself. I realized very fucking early that what everyone else was doing, they were doing what everyone else was doing because everyone else was doing it. So they thought that is what you do. And I was like, man, how is that going to get me to this place where I can fucking, my mom, my brother, me, we've been through enough. Like, dude, like, how is that going to change it? I couldn't get the answer. The answer wasn't there. There was no answer. So I had to be like, okay, fuck. Give me an opportunity. Give me an opportunity, and I'm going to change everything. Just give me an opportunity, okay? And I realized once that opportunity came, sacrifice everything. Everything, even people's opinions of me, even my friends, because there was something that was so fucking powerful that I needed to handle in my soul. No one told me. I had to handle it. And the second I got the chance to handle it, I did. And while I did that, I was learning the whole way what true sacrifice is, how painful it is, how much it hurts, and how
alone you feel.
How alone you feel, and how many people don't understand what true sacrifice is because they're not willing to give up their friend's birthday party, on the weekend, and that gives them a reason to miss work. But I missed. Well, I wanted that promotion. Well, you missed work because you wanted to go to your friends. Like I shut it down. Shit, I've shut it down for the last 19 years.
Shut it down.
I've shut it down for the last 19 years. Nothing comes before my need to sacrifice for what's going to better my life in anyone who's mildly connected to me. So that just hit me now. When I shut it down, I never turn it back on.
Was there like a spot where you're just like, shut it? It was literally like the thing you see on TV, shut down.
Yep. The spot was when I got that job in the gym, and I asked my boss. I said, "What do you make?" And he's like, "Oh, to be a GM of a gym, you can make 70, 80 base plus commission." And I was like, "What?" And I was like, "Okay, game on."
Shut it down.
6 months, I took his fucking job, and I was fucking 20 and a half. You know what I'm saying? And it was just because everything I did every day was to take his job. And it wasn't him. It wasn't personal. It's because I needed to go take what my soul was telling me I needed for the reasons that I needed to do that. And it did change everything. And I haven't stopped since then. And frankly, I don't know if I'll ever stop.
Yeah, you probably won't ever stop. That identifying with the spot you said about it's like so deep and burning so like hot that you like have to feed it. Like that it doesn't matter. You don't really hear the stuff. You just only are so singly tunnel vision focused, right,
bro.
Johnny?
Dude.
That it's like there's no other way. There's no plan B. That was going to be accomplished no matter what. Yeah. And I think that the other thing is, I think when people think about shortchanging themselves, I just think that you really have to start thinking to yourself, like, this life ain't that long. It's really not. And that, you know, if you're okay, and some people are okay with this, everyone knows they have more in them. Even as much as we do what we do, we still know there's more, right, John? It's just the way it is.
Dude.
But to be okay, and this is something I had to talk with myself a long time ago, to be okay when it's truly at the end with what I push to do in this life, whether it's 50 years or 150 years, I couldn't be okay with just letting the same cycle happen again. Yeah. I just could not lay there that day when I know it's about over and go, and that's what I let happen?
Dude.
Are you fucking kidding? Like the regret, and that was the biggest thing that I've learned from, I talk to old people as much as possible. I love it. And if I can know them enough, I'll try to ask them about regret. And that's something they know they can't change. And I just would see the hurt in their eyes and they can't go back and fix it, bro. And that to me was what essentially scared me to some degree into not, doing that with my life.
I'll tell you what, it's funny you bring that up because I had this talk with my mom the other day. I said the only way I know how to put it is like I have this ready to die test. And I've always, and may sound weird to say, I've always felt that I will die young. And I feel like that's okay, that it is what it is. I don't know why.
You always had that feeling, John?
Yeah, always. So I said, if I were to die today, I know I'm good. I know that my intentions are in the right place. Am I misunderstood? Sure, I can't control that. But man, everything I tried to do, I went at it and I'm leaving it all on the table. Even if it was today, I don't have a fear of it because there's nothing that's I've dealt with my past. I've dealt with all that shit. And because I'm ready to die doesn't mean I want to die.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
a big difference, right? But it's like a test. And if you, and if the listener could put themselves in this frame of mind, if I'm going to die, if I'm lying in a bed right now and I'm going to die, where's my brain go?
Yeah.
And maybe where your brain takes you, when you run that test is where you need to,
where you should start and focus on. Well, I don't know if I can add to that. That was amazing, John. I think that's a great test that they can, and that's no one else but you. No one else can tell you those things. No, you have to soul search.
No, and you got to be honest with yourself.
Yeah,
and the real answer might scare the shit out of you.
Oh, it's probably going to. So I love it. All right, so this episode's brought to you by CommonBond, right? CommonBond. I thought so.
Verify.
Go to commonbond.co/biceps because you probably have college debt. And if you're listening to us, don't be fucking lazy. No. Go to CommonBond. Immediately, they could save you on average up to $24,000 in a year.
That's good money, Cory. I think that comes out to about $330 over the life of the loan.
$323 it says on the paper.
Per month. Okay, I was $7 off. Shoot me. But hey, that's a lot right there. That's a car payment. That's a cell phone payment. Things are as you like to say, things are tough out in the streets. You know,
Things are tough out in the streets, John.
Yeah.
So make sure if you have college debt, go to commonbond.co/biceps.
Indeed.
Maurice Claret on vacation.
Tanning.
Johnny Fosco.
Also tanning.
Can the podcast be stopped? The podcast can't be stopped.